Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So now we are going to begin our, I think, fifth session on ventilation strategy, basics given by Dr. Ismail. Let's begin our session with Al-Fatiha. So without further ado, I would invite Dr. Ismail to proceed with the session. Tafadhal.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So, from the last session, we stopped at the mechanical ventilation. We mentioned about the indications and the difference between spontaneous ventilation and mechanical ventilation. After that, we came to 3 and 3 to understand the basics of the conventional ventilation. Yeah, we already finished the basic physiology. Now we are talking about the machine. So before I talk about 3 and 3, we must know that when I use mechanical ventilation, I give oxygenated air. I am providing oxygenated air. What is the aim of oxygenated air? To distant alveoli. To distant alveoli. So this is the machine. Oxygenated air to distant alveoli. This oxygenated air amount or volume of this air over time equal flow. Volume of this air over time is the flow. Force of this air on area equal pressure. So that's why we are talking about flow and the pressure. The magnitude, we said we give oxygen air to distant alveoli. The magnitude of alveolar distension, magnitude of alveolar distension equal tidal volume. So this is the volume, the pressure, and flow. So we go to 3 and 3. To understand the basics of the machine and the mood, you need to understand 3 and 3. So first 3 are the control, the trigger, and the cycle. So we start with control. Control is what I give to the patient. If I give the patient pressure, let's say peak inspiratory pressure, so this is pressure control. This is pressure control. I control from the machine. If I give the patient volume, so it is volume control. So which is better, pressure or volume? So when you go to the literature, still a lot of debate about whether pressure is better and whether volume is better. Everyone has advantage and disadvantage. For example, when you control pressure, so there is less risk of barotrauma, because I know high pressure causes barotrauma. So when I control the pressure, so I am aware from this problem. But the thing, when you give the pressure, you cannot guarantee the tidal volume. The patient may not get enough tidal volume. That is the disadvantage of pressure. On the other side, we talk about the volume. The advantage of volume, that you can control the tidal volume. You can guarantee the tidal volume. But the problem, there is risk of barotrauma. Why? Because the ventilator, the machine, always I tell that the machine is like polite, respectful person. Whatever you do, the machine will do. Whatever setting you put, the machine will do it. For example, if I want to give certain tidal volume, and then the patient has lung problem, for example, the lung cannot distend, has poor compliance. So what will happen? The ventilator will rise the pressure, continue rise until go to very high pressure to achieve the tidal volume. In this case, there is risk of barotrauma. There is risk of barotrauma. And that's why came the PRVC. PRVC. The PRVC is pressure regulated volume control. Pressure regulated volume control, in this case, we can guarantee the tidal volume, but we have limitations to the pressure. We have limitations to the pressure by the alarms. We can set the alarm limits, so we can set upper limit for the pressure. The machine will try to achieve the tidal volume, but if the machine cannot achieve that tidal volume and reaching high pressure, it will alarm. Then we have to come and assist the patient and manage. This is the advantage of PRVC. Or you can describe it as volume guarantee, VG. It is the same thing. When you say PRVC, it is the same like volume guarantee. So this is regarding control. Next is trigger. Trigger is the parameter which initiates breathing. So trigger initiates breathing. Initiates breathing. That is the trigger. We have two types of trigger. We have time trigger . This is from the machine. You can follow with the slides. The slides which I sent to you have this one. You can follow with them and you can see the whiteboard. Time trigger from the machine. So for example, if I set the breathing like 20 per minute, if I set the rate 20 per minute, so this means every 3 seconds the machine will give breathing. Whether the patient has effort or the patient is apneic. Even if the patient is apneic, he will get the breathing. He will get the breathing. Because, like I said, the ventilator is polite, respectful person. Whatever setting you put, it will do. The other type of trigger is from the patient, not from the ventilator. We call it pressure or flow or volume trigger. This is from the patient, not from the machine. This is from the patient. Whether the machine will respond or will not respond, that is the mood. The mood is different. Whether the mood will respond or will not respond depends on the type of the mood. We'll come to it later. So after trigger, we go to the cycle. So the first three: control, trigger, and cycle. Cycle is end of inspiration. So we have two types of cycle. We have either time cycle or pressure, flow, volume cycle. So time cycle, this is adjusted by the TI. TI in the machine. When we insert TI, so for example, if you insert TI 0.5, for example, you insert TI 0.5. So what will happen when the patient breathe? When the patient breathe, yeah, for example, patient takes positive pressure, go in inspiration for 0.5 seconds. After that, we'll shift to expiration. Patient will cycle into expiration because this is time cycle controlled by the machine. Pressure or flow or volume cycle is not related to the machine. This is related to the patient's effort. Patient's effort, and again, depends on the mood. So this pressure flow volume cycle has no TI. It is not related to TI. When the patient achieves certain amount of flow or volume or pressure, then patient will cycle into expiration. This is usually patient effort and can be modified by the machine by using ETS. We will talk about it later. Expiratory trigger sensitivity. For example, the patient has effort. Patient breathe and then he gets support by pressure. Patient, let's say we are here on the beam and patient take negative pressure, so he can get pressure support if he is on pressure support ventilation. But with this pressure support, he will not get the TI. He will only take the inflow until certain amount is left. When 25% is left, the patient will cycle into expiration. That's why usual setting is 25% expiratory trigger sensitivity. So these are the first three, which are control, trigger, and cycle. The other three types of breathing. We have controlled breathing, assisted breathing, and spontaneous breathing. Controlled breathing started by the machine and ended by the machine. That is controlled breathing. The machine starts the breathing and the machine ends the breathing. Assisted breathing started by the patient and ended by the machine. Started by the patient and ended by the machine. Spontaneous breathing started by the patient and ended by the patient. So these are the three types of breathing. So based on the three parameters, control, trigger, cycle, and the three types of breathing, controlled, assisted, and spontaneous, we can know the mode of the mechanical ventilation. What mode are we using? So let's go to the modes. You can move the slides which you have. You can see the list of modes. The problem is there is no consensus. So sometimes when you go and study in the literature, you get some confusion. That, yeah, we can see the slides here. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is the list. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the list of the modes.
This one.
Yes, this is the list of the modes, the common modes. There are so many modes, but this is the list of the common modes. Like we can see the SIMV is the famous one. Yeah, and then we can see the other modes like SIBBB, or assisted control. It is called assisted control, or in some ventilators, you can find it as IBBV assist. Then you can find CMV or IMV, DNB or pressure support ventilation, CPAP with the pressure support. So it is the same thing. And there is the famous one, the most commonly used is the SIMV with the pressure support. It is combination. It is combination. So let's go to the slides. We'll go one by one. After that, we apply them on the whiteboard. Let's go to SIMV. First one. Next slide. Yeah. So you see SIMV. So I use this to make it easy to understand. Yeah. Because the problem sometimes it is difficult to understand. So I made it like ventilator talks to the patient. Yeah, something funny, but makes it easy to understand the mood. So the SIMV, I will give you controlled breaths, as the doctor said the rate. Don't worry, you will get the set rate completely, even if you don't breathe. So whatever rate you set, the patient will get, even if he's apneic. If you set 30 per minute, means he will get one breath every 2 seconds. 30 breaths per minute. If you breathe on my time, I will help you completely. So if the patient takes a fourth negative pressure, a fourth, still he will get the breathing. He will get the breathing, whether he takes the fourth or he doesn't take the fourth. If you breathe on another time, yeah, for example, the patient breathes after 3 minutes. Now the ventilator adjusted with rate 30 breaths per minute, means every 2 seconds there will be one breath. But if the patient breathes on the 3rd second, that time the ventilator is not ready to give breathing. So if you breathe on another time, carry on yourself. It's not my business. So this is the SIMV, the pure SIMV. Okay, next, assisted control. So assisted control, I will give you control the breaths as the doctor said the rate. Don't worry, you will get the set rate completely, even if you don't breathe. If you breathe on my time, I will help you completely. So now we still have the same features like SIMV. Now here there is the difference. If you breathe on another time, I will help you also. I am generous. So this is the major difference between assisted control and SIMV. Here, if the patient breathes even at the 3rd second, he will get support by the machine completely. Next, pressure support ventilation. I will not give you any controlled breath. I don't have set rate. So this is pressure support. There is no rate. If you breathe at any time, I will only give you pressure, but you will decide your cycle. So this is the cycle which we mentioned. Will be flow or volume or pressure cycle. The patient will decide. I don't have set TI. Okay. Now SIMV with the pressure support, the most common mode used. I will give you controlled breaths as the doctor said the rate. Don't worry, you will get the set rate completely, even if you don't breathe. If you breathe on my time, I will help you completely. So still same like SIMV. Now the difference from the isolated SIMV, if you breathe on another time, I will help you, but only with the pressure. You should decide your cycle. Okay. Next, CMV, which is not used now. I will not care about you. I will give you on time what the doctor decides. I am not interested to deal with you. So this mode is tough mode. Like you make the setting 30 breaths per minute, so it will go give 30 controlled breaths. And I will not respond to the trigger by the patient. So there will be asynchrony, patient ventilator asynchrony, which is a big problem, and a lot of literature about asynchrony, how to manage asynchrony, because asynchrony leads to deterioration of the condition of the patient. Patient becomes uncomfortable, becomes hypoxic. Yeah, so this mode only you can use if you have patient completely sedated and paralyzed, like someone with head injury or someone who doesn't have breathing effort, because the ventilator will work by itself. We don't use nowadays this mode of ventilation. Next, CPAP. Hello, breathe by yourself. I will only give you pressure to keep your alveoli open. That's it. CPAP is PEEP, continuous positive airway pressure, or PEEP, positive end expiratory pressure. So the patient will get the alveoli distended only and will breathe by himself or herself. So these are the common conventional modes, the common modes of conventional ventilation. Whether it is invasive or non-invasive, if the patient is taking the mechanical ventilation by endotracheal tube or tracheostomy, means it is invasive. If the patient taking the mechanical ventilation by mask, nasal mask or face mask, then it is non-invasive. So let's go to talk about the modes and take the parameters which we will set. I want you to follow with me mode by mode, one by one. So like I said, we will start with SIMV first. SIMV. So when you come to the machine and you want to make your setting, remember to set you have 5, 2, and 2. 5, 2, and 2. These are the parameters. And when you use them, you have set parameters, but not necessarily what you set. The ventilator is very polite, very respectful, will take all to the patient. But because of the dead space and because of the leak which may happen in the circuit, so sometimes it does not reach completely to the patient. Does not mean that the ventilator is impolite or the ventilator is not respected. The ventilator is always respected. What you set, it will give to the patient. But if you have the leak or you have another problem, then it may reach the patient. So the first 5, the peak inspiratory pressure. Peak inspiratory pressure. So equivalent to it is the tidal volume. If volume control ventilation, you will find tidal volume. If pressure control ventilation, you will find peak inspiratory pressure. So we'll take example here, like peak inspiratory pressure. So let's take it as 20. We assume it is 20. The other parameter is the beep. The other parameter is beep. So beep, we assume it is 5. We assume it is 5. Then you will have the TI, inspiratory time. We assume it is 0.5. Then you have rate. Say we assume the rate, let's say, make it easy, 20. So means 1 breath every 3 seconds. 20 per minute means 1 breath every 3 seconds. The fifth one is the slope. Slope usually we put as 0.2. I will tell you what is the slope when we come to the graph. So these are the first 5. Peak inspiratory pressure, beep, TI, rate, and slope. Next 2 are pressure support. How much pressure support you will give, and ETS, expiratory trigger sensitivity. Then next is the FiO2, FiO2 and trigger. So now when I come to SIMV alone, what do you think? Do you think there is pressure support? SIMV alone. There will not be pressure support. So this parameter you will not find in SIMV alone. Why? Because pressure support comes when the patient has spontaneous breathing. Spontaneous breathing. And if you go and read in the slides, what is IMV? It's IMV. If you breathe in another time, carry on yourself. It will not give you anything. So you will not see on the screen, on the monitor of the ventilator, you will not see pressure support. And you will not see expiratory trigger sensitivity because this one is related to the flow. This is related to the flow. Yeah, so in this IMV, you will not see these two parameters. If IO2, always there. So let's assume that it is 50% means 0.5.
Dr. Ismail,
50%.
Dr. Ismail, we
Yes.
cannot see the bottom part of the whiteboard.
I see. You cannot see. Can you see the ETS?
We can only see up to FiO2.
FiO2. Okay, fine. So so 5, 2 and 2. 5, 2 and 2. So the other two, the FiO2 is always there, and the trigger. Let's assume FiO2 is 0.5, and the trigger, let's say flow trigger 0.5 liter per minute. So the other parameters, pressure support and ETS, expiratory trigger sensitivity. You will not see pressure support in SIMV. When you have SIMV, there is no pressure support. Like I said, because the pressure support is when the patient takes breathing, not with the time of the ventilator breathing. So it will not be there in isolated SIMV. ETS also, it will not be there. So we'll see after that with different modes, some parameters are there, some parameters are not there. Now, if I ask you, what are the two parameters which are always there in any mode? Any mode you use, you must have these two parameters. So impose, can someone tell me what are the two parameters which are always there?
Beep and FiO2.
MO lah, bos.
Yeah. FiO2 and beep, exactly. So any mode, you must have FiO2 and you must have beep. Okay, very good. So let's now withdraw the pressure time curve. Okay. So this is the time by second. And this is the pressure by centimeter water. So let's say we have 0 here. So we have 1 second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pressure here is have 5, 10, 15, 20. So I am giving SIMV to the patient. So I will see one line. I will see one line here. This is the beep. Beep is 5 centimeter water. So we'll see one line all the way. So this line is beep. So let's say now I am putting the patient on the ventilator with this setting. So at 3 seconds, the patient is not breathing. Patient has no breathing effort. What will happen? At 3 seconds with this mode, patient has no breathing effort. So patient will have breathing from the machine because we have the rate 20 per minute. 20 per minute means one breathe every 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds, the patient will get the breathing, will get positive pressure up to 20 centimeter water. This is peak inspiratory pressure. Patient will get the breathing, peak respiratory pressure until 20. So patient will have inspiration until 0.5 seconds. This 0.5 seconds is the TI. 0.5 seconds, then patient will expire. After 0.5 seconds, patient will expire. So the peak respiratory pressure is the top here. The TI is the time when the patient takes the inspiration. The rate, like we said, control the breathing will come every 3 seconds. Where is the slope? The slope is here. Yeah, slope is here. How it is going up. So it does not go straight. Yeah. It goes slightly oblique. This is the slope. So the angle here is the slope. Yeah. Instead of going one straight, it goes oblique direction. This is the slope. And this is important. So usually we set around 0.2. Maximum is 2. Cannot go more than 2. 2 is high already. Yeah. Most of the time 0.2, even sometimes 0.15. Yeah. You can go to 1, maximum 2, maximum 2. So what is the meaning of this slope? This slope, how the pressure arrives. The problem, if you put the slope is very low, the patient will have air hunger. Air hunger. When the slope, for example, if I come here and make the slope very oblique, then the patient will have air hunger. Air hunger. If I give the breathing very deep, very steep, with very low slope, then what I will have? I will have turbulence flow. Turbulence. Can you see the whiteboard?
Cannot see. We cannot see.
Cannot see. Okay. Let me adjust the position of the camera.
Okay, better.
Better.
Better. Yeah, this one is better. This one better. Okay.
The slope, if you give it very steep, you will have turbulence flow. Turbulence flow means the pressure is coming very fast. This turbulence will affect the gas exchange. If you have it very slow, then you will have air hunger. So you need to adjust your slope. So let's say the patient at 6 seconds to effort here has some negative pressure. Or before that, before I go there, so what type of breathing is this? Anyone can tell me what type of breathing? This is controlled breathing. Controlled breathing, because it started by the machine and ended with the machine. What was the trigger? Is it time trigger or pressure flow volume trigger? It is time trigger.
Right.
Yes? Yeah, please, if you can communicate, it will be better. Yeah, I want you to communicate. So this is time trigger. Time trigger. What about the cycle here? Is it time cycle or pressure flow volume cycle? Who will tell me the cycle here? It is time cycle.
Time cycle.
Yeah, time cycle controlled by the TI. So it is controlled breathing, time trigger, and time cycle. Okay, so let's go at 6 seconds. If at 6 seconds the patient has effort, has negative pressure, created negative pressure, what will happen? According to IIUM, will this IIUM provide breathing or not?
Yes.
Yeah, very good. The machine will provide the breathing. So it will provide peak respiratory pressure with the same slope. Yeah, slope is 0.2. Same peak respiratory pressure here, which is at 20. And again, with same TI, which is 0.5. And we'll go to expiration. So what type of breathing is this? Is it controlled breathing or assisted breathing?
Assisted.
Assisted breathing. Yeah, this is assisted breathing, started by the patient and completed by the machine. So this is assisted breathing. What was the trigger? Is it time trigger or pressure flow volume trigger?
Patient trigger.
Yeah, patient trigger. It's triggered by the patient or flow or volume. Here we set the trigger 0.5 liter per minute. So means if the patient can create a flow of 0.5 liter per minute, the machine will provide. The ventilator is very polite. Once you put the trigger here, it will follow. It will follow. I can adjust. I can, if I don't want the patient to breathe too much, I can make the trigger less. Instead of 0.5, I make it 0.2, for example. Or I can make it the pressure trigger. If I don't want flow trigger, I can make pressure trigger. For example, 1 centimeter water. In this case, when the patient takes negative pressure 1 centimeter water, he will get it. So I only control the trigger. I only control the trigger here. And the ventilator will follow. Once the trigger is achieved, the ventilator will give the breathing. So let's keep it the same, flow trigger. So assisted breathing and the trigger by the patient and cycle. Is it time cycle or flow cycle? Yes, what cycle?
No.
It is time cycle. Yeah, it is time cycle. Yeah, time cycle. Because we have the TI, so always controlled breathing and assisted breathing, they have time cycle. Okay, now let's say the patient at 8 seconds has negative effort.
No.
No, very good. Yes, very good. So the patient will not get any support from the machine because it came not in the appropriate time. The appropriate time for SIV is every 3 seconds. The appropriate time is here at 9 seconds. So the patient will breathe by himself. So what type of breathing is this? Spontaneous breathing. This is
Spontaneous.
Yeah. What was the trigger?
Patient.
Trigger.
Patient.
Trigger from the patient. Trigger from the patient. In this case, it is a flow trigger. I can make it the pressure trigger or volume trigger. Cycle or do by the patient. Yeah, flow cycle or volume cycle or pressure cycle. So this is the SIV alone. This is SIV alone. Let's go to the next mode, which is assisted control. Assisted control or AC or SIBBV. So again, when I have assisted control, the same thing, I have the beep here. So it's things I will have peak inspiratory pressure. Again, I will have beep, I have TI, I have the rate, and I have the slope, I have FiO2, and also I have trigger. But again, I will not have pressure support, and I will not have ATS, expiratory trigger sensitivity. So let's say at 3 seconds, patient doesn't breathe. Will he get breathing from the ventilator? Yes, he will get. He will get the peak inspiratory pressure here at 20 centimeter water with this slope. This is the slope. Slope which is 0.2 second, and then we'll have the TI 0.5 second, and we'll go into expiration. So because the patient didn't get any effort, so this is controlled breathing. Controlled breathing. What type of trigger in this breathing? Is it time trigger or patient trigger? Patient flow or volume or pressure? It is time trigger. So it is controlled breathing, it is time trigger. Controlled breathing, time trigger. What about the cycle? Is it time cycle or pressure flow volume cycle? It is time cycle.
Time.
It is time cycle. Okay. Let's say the patient at 5 seconds here. At 5 seconds, patient has negative pressure with a effort of 0.5 liter per minute. So what do you think now? It is not the time because the ventilator adjusted with the rate of 20. One breathe every 3 seconds. But the patient will breathe here at 5 seconds. Yes, I will listen to you. Will he get support from the ventilator?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. So you understand it very well. So the patient will get support from the ventilator, will get the peak respiratory pressure of 20 with the same slope and with the same TI, and will go into expiration. So what type of breathing is this?
Assisted.
Very good. Yes, very good. This is assisted breathing. Assisted breathing. What is the trigger? What is the trigger in this breathing?
Trigger.
Yes. Is it from the ventilator or the patient?
Patient.
From the
Patient.
patient. Good. Yes, flow trigger. Since we are setting flow trigger, so it is from the patient. It is from the patient. Okay. What about the cycle? What about the cycle? Is it time cycle or flow cycle?
Flow cycle.
It is time cycle.
Time cycle. Time.
Yes, time cycle, yes. Always controlled breathing and assisted breathing are time cycle. Because controlled breathing start by the patient, start by the machine, and end by the machine. So controlled breathing is time trigger and time cycle. Assisted breathing start by the patient but end by the machine. So it is patient trigger but time cycle. Spontaneous breathing start by the patient and end by the patient. So patient trigger and also trigger by and cycle by the patient. Flow cycle. Flow or volume or pressure cycle by the patient. Okay. So next mode is we finished SIMV, we finished assisted control. Let's take SIMV with the pressure support. Or we take pressure support alone, first to make it easy. We take pressure support ventilation. Pressure support ventilation, BSV. Or you will find it in other ventilators, CPAP, BS. CPAP with pressure support. It is the same thing. So now, do you think I will have positive inspiratory pressure here? No. If I have pressure support ventilation, there is no peak inspiratory pressure. There is no peak inspiratory pressure. Do you think I have TI? There is no TI also. No TI. Do you think there is a rate? There is no rate. Do you think there is slope? Yes, slope still there. Slope still there. Pressure support, definitely. Definitely, we have pressure support. So we need to set value. So the pressure support will be above the peak. For example, if I set the pressure support 15, so when the patient gets support, it gets 15 over the 5. It will reach to 20. It will reach to 20. And here we have ETS, expiratory trigger sensitivity. Commonly, we set expiratory trigger sensitivity at 25%. 25%. So FiO2 definitely we have, and we have also trigger. We have trigger. Okay. So now, let's say the patient had 2 seconds here. Patient made negative effort and reached the trigger. Reached the trigger of 0.5 liter per minute. So what will happen? Can I hear you? What will happen here? Patient has negative effort which reaches the trigger level. Will he get positive pressure from the machine? Yes? Very good. Very good, Shafina. So he will get pressure of 15. So 15 over 5, it will reach up to 20 here. So it is the same slope, but there is no TI. There is no TI. No TI. How the patient goes to expiration? This depends on the flow, the ETS. So we need to see another curve here. We need to see the flow. So the flow, can you see this line?
Yes.
I make it higher. I make it higher if you cannot see. So let's draw the flow here. So this is time, and this is the flow. So flow, if you are interested in mechanical ventilation, you can go and read about types of the flow. So the common pattern of flow is the decelerating flow pattern. Decelerating flow pattern is like this. We have inspiratory flow, and then expiratory flow. This is the flow pattern. Inspiratory flow and expiratory flow with every breath. So we will see on the flow here, we will see the patient having flow, and at this point, when 25% is left. 25% of the flow is left here. This is the ETS. 25%. The patient will go to expiration. Will go to the expiratory flow. The patient will go to expiration. So this point will be at the same level here when the patient goes down. So it is not PI. So you will notice here, you will not see flat line on the top. You will not see flat line. If you see flat line on the top, means the breathing is either controlled or assisted. But here, you will not see flat line. Pressure support, you'll see only pointed top. Pointed top. There is no TI. So again, this is spontaneous breathing. Spontaneous breathing. What is the trigger? Trigger is the flow trigger of the patient and cycle also, yeah, from the patient. Very good. So it will be always like this unless, let's say at one point of time, the patient created the flow, but that flow was only 0.1 liter per minute. 0.1 liter per minute. He did not reach 0.5. Do you think he will get the pressure support? He will not get. He will not get because the sitting here, the trigger is 0.5. If the patient takes just 0.1, he will not get pressure support. He needs to achieve that trigger. He needs to achieve that trigger. So this is the pressure support ventilation. So let's go to SIMV with the pressure support. SIMV with the pressure support. So when you go to SIMV with the pressure support, you will see everything now. So all will be there. So you have the peak inspirated pressure again, 20, for example. You have the TI, for example, 0.5, and you have the rate, for example, 20. Okay, so SIMV with the pressure support. So let's say the patient with this mood at 3 seconds, the patient has no breathing effort. So what will happen? Yeah, can you tell me what happened at 3 seconds if the patient has no effort?
Time triggered.
Time triggered, okay? So he will get controlled breathing. He will get peak inspiratory pressure, 20 peak inspiratory pressure with the slope, which we said, which is 0.2. He will get TI, flat top, 0.5, and then he will go to expiration. So this is controlled breathing. Controlled breathing. So the trigger is time trigger, and the cycle is also time cycle. Very good. So time trigger and time cycle. And time cycle. So let's say the patient here at 5 seconds. So with this sitting in front of us, at 5 seconds, the patient created a effort with flow of 0.5 liter per minute. So what will happen? Will he get a positive pressure here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, very good. So he will get the pressure support of 15 and it will be top. Yeah, point top here. So he will have the slope, but there is no TI. There is no TI. He will go into expiration. So what was this type of breathing? Is it assisted or spontaneous?
Assisted.
It is a spontaneous. It is a spontaneous. Yeah, it is a spontaneous breathing. Yeah, the term assisted breathing is when you get the full assistance. You get the pressure and you get the TI. When you get the pressure and you get the TI, that is assisted breathing. That is assisted breathing. But when you get only pressure support, it is still considered spontaneous breathing. You may find some differences. That's why the problem is that there is no consistency in the terminology. Yeah, you find some machines, they call it assisted support ventilation like that. But as a basic, once the breathing started by the patient and he gets pressure support only, it is spontaneous breathing. It becomes assisted breathing when the patient gets the peak respiratory pressure and the TI. When he has flat top, that is assisted breathing. So this is spontaneous breathing. Spontaneous breathing. Okay, so what is the trigger here?
Patient trigger.
Yes, patient trigger, very good. Patient trigger, no trigger. What is the cycle? So the cycle also flow cycle from the patient. Yes. So we have the flow here. When we reach 25% of the flow, yeah, patient will go into expiration. So flow cycle. So this is SIMV with pressure support. Let's go to the other mode, which is CMV. So again, the terminology, the CMV, there is a difference between the machines. Yeah, but the famous, the CMV is the same one as IMV, the same one IPPV. So here, let me just a second. If we come, peak respiratory pressure is there, CMV. Beam is there, TI is there, rate is there, slope is there. Do you think there is pressure support?
No.
Very good. Yes, very good. There is no pressure support. Do you think there is ETS?
No.
No ETS. Very good. Yeah, there is no ETS. Do you think there is trigger?
No.
Yes.
No trigger.
Oh, no
Yeah,
trigger.
trigger. Yeah. This is tough mode which is not used now. This one does not look at the patient at all. Yeah, if you go and see what is CMV or IMV or IPPV, so
Oh, the
I will
selfish
give
one.
what the doctor said. Yes?
Oh, no, the one that ignore the patient.
Yeah, ignore the patient. Yes. Yeah. So just this ventilator will give controlled breaths, 20 per minute. So every 3 seconds will give controlled breathing. 3 seconds, controlled breathing. Time, trigger, time cycle. Time, trigger, time cycle. So this will hurt the patient. If the patient has breathing effort, patient would be hurted by this ventilator, a lot of asynchrony. A lot of asynchrony. So this is the problem. So this one used only if the patient is sedated and paralyzed, like some patients with head injury. It is not used anymore now. Again, if you go to the machines, you may find CMV is different. CMV is different. Yeah, some people, they use the term CMV similar to SIMV. But in the basic, when you say CMV, it is IMV, it is IBBV, it is the mode which has no relation to the patient. Now, last one is the CPAP. Continuous positive airway pressure. So CPAP, all of you know, you are famous with CPAP. So, which parameter would be seen? The only these two, FiO2 and B. So the patient can breathe at any time. Patient breathe at any time, you see negative pressure. When the patient breathe, you see negative pressure. Patient breathe, negative pressure. So what type of breathing is this? Spontaneous breathing. What is the trigger? It is patient.
Flow of patient.
Patient trigger. Yeah, patient trigger. Flow or volume or pressure triggered by the patient. By the patient. What is the cycle? Also by the patient. Flow or pressure or volume cycle. So this is CPAP. Continuous positive airway pressure. So CPAP is good. CPAP is very good in the oxygenation. Yeah, it is not for ventilation. CPAP is good for oxygenation. Yeah, it oxygenates the patient. Always remember, I mentioned some many times, when you put the patient on CPAP, you must be sure there is on. What must be on? In the ventilator machine, something must be on.
Apnea
Not
monitor.
off. Yeah.
Apnea
ventilation. Yeah, apnea ventilation. So be sure apnea ventilation is on. Apnea ventilation. You'll see in the machine on and off. Yeah, be sure it is on. Otherwise, if it is off and the patient goes to apnea, he will continue apnea. And you cannot blame the ventilator. Because like I said, the ventilator is a polite person. You make it off, it will keep it off. Even the patient die, it will not do anything because you made it off. It may alarm apnea. If you set the alarm, yes, alarm apnea, but it will not give the patient. If you put the apnea ventilation on, yeah, then it will start giving the ventilation according to your setting.
So no invasive CPAP, right?
CPAP can be non-invasive and can be invasive. Depends on
When
the
you-
interface which you use.
Okay. So for invasive CPAP,
Invasive CPAP can be used at last stage during weaning. When we wean the patient, last stage before extubation, you can keep the patient on CPAP and see
just
how
to
it is.
see if there's spontaneous breathing and we can off the ventilator.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So for the other modes like HFOV and INO, we talk about them later. Now I want to go. How many minutes we still have?
It's up to you. Should we
No
end at
limit.
11? Should we end at 11:30?
What's the time now?
Now it's 11:13. So
Mm.
say 20 minutes more.
Okay. So let's talk about initial sitting. Initial sitting. Yeah, initial sitting. So initial sitting now I will talk in general. In general. But after that the sitting is different according to the strategy, according to the disease of the patient. So remember what I said, 5, 2, and 2. 5, 2, and 2. So in the first 5, peak inspiratory pressure. Peak inspiratory pressure. We are talking about pressure control ventilation because this is the one which we commonly use. Yeah, if you are using volume control, you will use the tidal volume. In fact, it is not used in pediatric volume control. If you use volume, you will use PRVC or volume guarantee. But volume control itself, like adults, it is not used. Yeah, and I will mention that after that in the ventilator strategy when we talk about respiratory system in the neonates. So peak respiratory pressure, if you have a neonate, you can start with from 18 to 22 or less. Always remember, they give you the range 18 to 22, but it is not necessary you give 18. If the patient has no lung problem, if the lung is nice, no need to overinflate it. Yeah, if the lung is nice, even you can give 16, 15, 14, depend on the chest rise and air entry. You can give less. Yeah. I remember one time I went to OT. With one patient, hydrocephalus for shunt. So I noticed the anesthetist, that one, the ventilator machine, it was in my country, was volume control, which we don't use in pediatrics. So the anesthetist used tidal volume of 5 ml per kg, which is good for children. But I noticed the chest is going to explode. Chest is moving too much. I told the anesthetist, please, can you reduce the tidal volume? Yeah. Why? Because the patient tidal volume 5 is normal, but the patient does not have lung problem. The lung was very nice. There is no infection, no problem in the respiratory system. The problem was only the hydrocephalus. So that's why, despite it is 5 liters per minute, it was moving too much. I asked the anesthetist to reduce. We reduced to 4. Still the chest rise too much. We reduced to 3. Still too much. Until we make it 2. After that, anesthetist cannot reduce anymore. Cannot give less than that. So always be sure you look at the chest rise, you see the air entry, you can give less to avoid lung injury. That is for neonate. For children, 18 to 25 again or less. Try to give not more than 30. Avoid more than 30. That's for peak inspiratory pressure. Next is beep. I am sure all of you know what is the usual beep. Automatically, when you are on call and you want to put beep, all of you know the famous number 5. Yeah, 5. We start with 5. Yeah. We can go higher in cases of ARDS. When we have a restrictive disease, we can go up to 15. In ARDS, you can go up to 15. Beep is very good, like I said, for oxygenation, not for ventilation. Beep is good for oxygenation. Beep improves functional residual capacity. Functional residual capacity. Functional residual. Anyone remember what is functional residual capacity? Anyone remember it? Okay. Now I will draw the curve and you tell me every parameter what is it. Okay? The patient is breathing. What is this? What volume is this?
Tidal volume.
Yes? I hear the answer, correct? Yes?
Tidal volume.
Tidal volume. Very good. One. Tidal volume. So this is tidal volume. Okay? If the patient takes forceful breathing, so what is this? What is this volume? What volume is this? I R V. Inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume. Okay? The patient takes deep exhalation. What volume is this?
Expiratory reserve volume.
Very good, Shafinas. Yes, expiratory reserve volume. Below the expiratory reserve volume, there is one volume always in the lung. What is that volume?
Residual.
Residual volume. Very good. So that is residual volume. Down here is residual volume. So where is functional residual capacity?
Both the expiratory reserve and residual volume.
Yes, very good. Yes, this is the functional residual capacity. This is the functional residual capacity which makes the alveolar membrane exposed to higher oxygen. So always remember, when we come later to the adjustment of the seating, if you want to improve oxygenation, improve PEEP. You improve PEEP, improve functional residual capacity, so more exposure to oxygen, more gas exchange. So oxygenation will improve. Oxygenation will improve. And always remember, what is the drawback of PEEP, high PEEP? What is the disadvantage of high PEEP? I mentioned yesterday when we mentioned about the indications of mechanical ventilation. We said that it may help heart failure. It may help heart failure because it reduces venous return. But what is the drawback?
It will
Reduce perfusion.
Yeah, can reduce perfusion, hypoperfusion. Can lead to hypotension, hypoperfusion, and hypotension. So that's why later when we come to hypotension in the ventilated patient, so one of the considerations that you are giving high pressure. If you give high pressure, especially high PEEP, it can lead to hypotension. Okay, so from the 5 we mentioned it, peak inspiratory pressure, PEEP, and TI. TI, if premature baby, you can use 0.3 to 0.4. If term baby, you can give 0.5. Young children, you give 0.5 to 0.6. Older children, you give 0.8 to 1. 0.8 to 1. So this is the TI. Rate or frequency for neonate, we said 30 to 40. For children, 20 to 30, younger children. Older children, adolescents, 15 to 20 per minute. This is only general, rough. Yeah, rough. After that, depends on the case, whether it is asthma, whether it is ARDS. Every case is different from the other. So we mentioned peak inspiratory pressure, we mentioned PEEP, we mentioned TI, we mentioned rate, still with the slope. So these are the first 5. Slope. Slope, I said, usually we put 0.2. Maximum 2 seconds. There it is, seconds. So these are the first 5. The other 2 are pressure support. Pressure support, you see your peak inspiratory pressure and see the beep, so put it the difference. Pressure support equal peak inspiratory pressure minus beep. That is your pressure support. Keep it same like this value. ETS or expiratory trigger sensitivity, most of the time 25%. Most of the time. Yeah. So don't worry. Once you see it in the ventilator, just put it 25%. You may find different terminology. Some ventilators, they use E-sense. E-sense. And some ventilators use the term cycling off. Cycling off. So that's why it is good when you work with the new machine, you get the briefing. Whatever you study and you know, the thing is on the machine, you need a briefing. Because the thing, you may think you don't know, but in fact you know. Only the terminology difference. Then we go to FiO2. The other 2 are FiO2 and the trigger. FiO2 and trigger. So FiO2, don't give high FiO2. Usually start around 50%. Try to avoid 100% unless the patient is persistently hypoxic. And like I said, avoid reaching saturation of 100%. You will go to free radicals and DNA damage. It is indicated to give 100% in one condition. The nurses may need to give 100%, maybe twice per day. At what time? Nurses need to give 100% short time. They come to the ventilator and they make it 100% for around 1 minute or 2 minutes. When the nurses will do that?
During suction.
Yes, very good. During suction. Pre-suction. We do it pre-suction. Pre-suction. Trigger. The famous triggers, you can set flow.
Dr. Ismail, 10 more minutes, yeah?
10 more minutes, okay. Flow, pressure, and volume. So the famous ones which you find either flow trigger or pressure trigger. Usually flow from 0.5 to 5 liters per minute, and pressure 0.5 to 3 centimeter water. Pressure trigger has advantage in the asynchrony. In case of asynchrony, pressure has advantage. Pressure trigger has advantage, less asynchrony. There is less asynchrony with the pressure control. Maybe we'll talk about it later when we come to patient ventilator asynchrony. So these are the initial settings. So after I put my initial setting, I'm happy. I need to monitor the patient. I shouldn't forget alarm limits. With these 522, I have to do alarm limits. Alarm limits. So the alarm limits include peak pressure. Peak pressure. So peak pressure, you have high limit and low limit. For the high limit, you put it double. And for the low limit, you put it half. Half of your value. So for example, you are using 20. You think peak respiratory pressure 20 is appropriate for the patient. So you put the alarm limit, the high limit as 40 and the low limit as 10. Rate. Also, the high as double and the low as half. So you put the peak and you put the rate. After that, you will have minute ventilation. Minute ventilation. So what is minute ventilation? By definition, what is minute ventilation? So minute ventilation is RR times tidal volume. RR times tidal volume. So you see your patient, you see what is his normal tidal volume. For example, what is the normal tidal volume in children? What is the normal tidal volume? So you can find some references 5 to 8, some others they tell you 5 to 10 ml per kg. ml per kg. That is the range of the tidal volume. So you take what is the normal RR for the patient and what is the normal tidal volume and multiply them. You see the result, and then the upper limit again. The upper limit will be double and the lower will be half. So another one in the alarm limit is the apnea. Apnea interval. Apnea interval. Apnea interval. So apnea interval will tell you if the patient reaches that interval without breathing, the ventilator will alarm. And be sure when you set apnea interval, make sure apnea ventilation is on. Apnea ventilation on. Make sure apnea ventilation on. So apnea interval in units, we make it 10 seconds. Yeah. Units and infants, 10 seconds. In older children, 20 seconds. So the ventilator will give you alarm if you pass that time without ventilation. Start alarming. You will come to the patient. Yeah, if you are just in apnea ventilation on, don't worry. It will alarm, but the ventilation, the machine will keep giving the ventilation to the patient. Okay. So these are the initial settings. After that, we will talk about the monitoring of the patient and adjustment. I think I keep to the next class. We have only 5 minutes. Meanwhile, if you have any questions now, you can ask me. If anything is not clear, yeah, during these 5 minutes. Anything not clear?
Any questions from the floor? Unmute and ask your question.
No question.
No question. Okay. So I will tell you, I decided to do something nice, which is useful for you. I will make MCQ. MCQ related to the previous classes and today's class. I will send to the group and you try to answer it. The answer is most of the answers are available in the previous classes. Most of them are available. Maybe little answers you need to go and read. Most of them are available. So I will give you, you try to answer. Next class, before we start, I give you the model answer. then you can review yourself. How's
Any
your answer?
Any
Are you
price?
happy with that?
Got hadiah or not? Izzah tanya. Izzah want
Yes,
hadiah.
دكتور إسماعيل.
نعم دكتور مسعد.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم
For
السلام ورحمة الله.
the alarm limit, I see that to make it double the rate, it may be slightly high. Suppose we have neonate and we settle the RR 50, so he will alarm me if the baby have 100 RR, I think. It must be adjusted.
I see. Okay, it is perfect. This one I took from Open Paediatrics as a reference, but I will see. I will see other references. I agree with you, Dr. Mus'ad. The team is high,
Yeah.
yes.
I think we need to revise just not to put a high alarm so the baby can injure before the ventilator alarm us.
I see.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Mus'ad. Any other comments?
I think that should wrap up our session for today. We'll reorganize. We'll rearrange our next session, inshallah. Now we have an unlimited account, so we can continue our recording for a bit longer and the session. Okay, I think let's end here. Let's end with the big